Hello, today we're going to go over tailoring a resume using ChatGPT. It's pretty easy, especially if you do it a couple times. Something to keep in mind, always kind of do a project folder, so when you start applying to a bunch of different places or, pulling job descriptions or creating, new resumes, you can keep them in a place, and that kind of helps tailor it. What I do is I keep a very large resume called my extensive resume on file. So if you look at this resume, it is nothing but, name, I've changed some few of the things, job descriptions, all the key skills that I have, from previous jobs or, previous positions. So you always want to have something like that in hand, ready to go. One thing about it, I will admit, with using chat, you can put a job description in to a chat and then put a resume, in the doc format or your Word doc format, but after a while it begins to train to a particular thing. So what I usually do is copy and paste. So there's a lot of copy and pasting, but today I'll just kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what I do. So first off, I have ChatGPT on this side. Over here I have my LinkedIn open up, looking at different jobs, plant manager, this, that, and the other. So the first thing I see is, the job summary. Usually they'll post these over to the right side. You can see it tells all the qualifications they want for the job, different aspects of it, lifting rates, education levels, and so on and so forth. So the first thing I wind up doing is I'm going to take my prompt, and I have actually just got it copied off over here to the side, and I'm going to put it in ChatGPT. I'm going to try, and I'm going to have make it ATS compliant resume using my resume and a job description. Length will be 2 pages long. Add keywords into the resume. Focus on plant management. Now what I like to do is copy over a little bit, write the word resume, and here's something I do different. Now when I'm loading my resume, like I said earlier, you can do the Word doc, but I have found that after a while it kind of trains ChatGPT, so where I changed my name on this particular doc, it kept bringing up my real name, so I wanted to and some of the jobs I did, so I've trained it. So what is usually best is to just copy and paste your whole resume into here. So I'll come over again, and I'm only doing this just because I'm a little OCD about how I like things lined up in there. I'll come over here and paste in my resume, and then I'll put down here job description, typing with one hand, space over, and like I said, I'm only doing this out of my OCD. You can actually copy and paste these right after each other, and they work just fine. So I'm going to look at where the about job starts. So I'm going to copy off of this and try to get that whole job description over here, all the way down, usually past your working conditions. So this usually gives you a weight. So this is the whole job description here. I'm going to copy that, come over here, paste, puts in the whole job description. Then I'm going to hit the go button. So it's going to look at that, it's going to look at my resume, and it's going to begin tailoring my resume. The nice thing is it does do them out here. So there I am, Han Solo, different jobs, working for the Empire and stuff, but it's going to take the keywords out of here and throw it in there. Now as it's building this resume, at the very end of it, it should give you a little bit of a background into it. So keywords that align with the job posting, it added those in. And that's something, I'm not looking for a job that I can't do. I'm looking at a job I can do. I just want to make sure I'm using the right keywords, the format set up the way they need it, because when you try to do, easy applies, or you go through each one of these companies' different, electronic, resume sorting, their ATS systems, you want to make sure you can at least get your foot in the door and that they're at least looking at that, and from what I've discovered before, I had a $700 resume I paid for in a PDF format, and I got less than 9% of these, when I applied to 30 jobs, less than like 13% actually looked at the resume. When I had ChatGPT do up my resume, it was 35% in 2 days, and now I'm well over 75% just doing the tailored resume. So you can see here where the resume comes in, it does everything, puts in everything you have, and then it's going to ask me, do I want that in a Word docs? And I normally just say yes, and we'll give it a minute while it's figuring it out. But when you're looking at these jobs, I'm not applying to jobs that I'm not good at or I can't do. I'm applying to the jobs that I can do. I'm just making sure that the keywords and everything, I might spell out an acronym where they use an acronym that could throw it off, so something to keep in mind. So right here pops up my resume. As soon as you click on that, it'll come up to your download folder, and then you can open it up, and this is what it gives me. So it takes everything in there, it puts the keywords in there, and like I said, most of these resumes are very basic looking. Okay? That is good for the electronic part of it. So if you have a really nice customized resume with headings and a bunch of bullet points and pictures on it, hey, that's great for what you're doing. But this right here is what they want to see. This is what those electronic application systems, and the applicant tracking systems, this is what they're looking for. So keep that in mind. It is as easy as copy and paste into ChatGPT. You just want to make sure that you've got some of the prompting. And again, when it comes to prompting, making sure that, make an ATS compliant, give a length. Sometimes the length will go a little over depending on how much stuff you have in, or if it can fit a lot in there, so it's just up to you to customize on it. And then, add keywords into the resume and focus on plant management. It kind of gives you, if I was going to say, hey, focus on my technical skills, it would be a little more technically oriented resume. And it is that easy. Copy paste job description, copy paste resume, hit go, ask for a Word doc, and there's a resume. You can spit into any of these, electronic formats. So I hope this helps. You guys, if you do like this, please, like and join my site. So I thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.